Hey everybody, I haven't done a budgeting video in a while, so I wanted to show you guys how I am currently budgeting. I found this pretty little yellow ledger book on Amazon. There's plenty of ledger type books you could use, of course. But here in the upper left hand corner of the inside, you see I have my color codes. I've got one for reviewing my budget and tracking my expenses, and the other one is for my original budget setup. So let me show you what I've got here for October 2021. Those first three categories are all household, which is why they have the black dots with them. So the room category is for stuff I need for my room. There's some furniture that I don't have. There's several other things I need to get my room kind of set up. It's probably not going to be fully set up the way I want to until like the end of the year. Um, for cleaning, I don't know if that's really the best. Leave a comment if you have a better idea for what I could put for that category. Because really, I just mean anything that I will regularly possibly need for my room. And I figured cleaning products would be like probably the most commonly one used. So that's why I put cleaning. But if you have a better idea for that, go ahead and leave a comment. So I'm not going to go through every single category or explain what every single category is. I'm just kind of showing you guys. There probably will be a budget with me video for November. And I will also start doing cash envelope stuffing videos either in October or November. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to start. So if you look down at the bottom left of the screen, I've written $2,335. So, in other words, in order to meet everything on this budget, that is the amount that I would have to bring in for October. And quite honestly, I'm not quite sure that that's going to happen. So the next thing that I need to do is probably on a separate sheet of paper. I don't really like to write in this, but I'm going to go through and kind of see, okay, where can I cut back? Where can I maybe budget a little bit less for myself? That kind of thing. So first of all, for rent, I put the wrong amount. I don't know why I put $600. I pay $100 a week on Wednesdays, and there are 4 Wednesdays in October. So I don't know if I was just, maybe at the time, because of everything that's been going on, I was trying to give myself a little bit of leeway, but I do not think I'm going to need a full $600 for rent. I'm not going to cross that out or anything. Um, I'm just going to leave it as is, but that's just something I want to notate. The other thing is medical. I've got $100. Also, under vet care, I've got $100. Those are both amounts that I probably will not be using. Vet care and health will be part of my cash envelopes. So if you look down at the bottom, I've got 375 set aside for cash envelopes. So that is the amount I am hoping to stuff in my envelopes for the month of October. But if you look at vet care and medical, those are the amounts I've basically budgeted to use without going into my cash envelopes, if that makes sense. But I will probably not be spending on either. I may get to a doctor for myself maybe sometime in the next couple of months, but it's probably not going to happen in October. And I don't know when my cats are going to be back to the vet, so I'm not too worried about spending that $100. So I guess my point is that overall, even though I have sat down and done my full budget, it's a little bit tighter in some ways than budgets that I've done in the past, but I have also over budgeted in a couple of categories just to kind of be on the safe side. Now, as far as my cash envelope category down there at the bottom, like I said, I'm going to try to put $375 aside to put in my envelopes for the month of October. But it may end up being a little bit less than that, and of course, if I could make it more than that, that would be awesome. So for those categories that I've budgeted a little bit extra for, that money's going to kind of that money's not really going anywhere. So for example, medical, where I put $100. I don't plan on going to the doctor this month. I don't plan on spending anything on medical this month. So I'm just gonna not have that money spent. But let's look at a category where I do plan on spending money. Groceries, for example. I do plan on spending some money on groceries for the month of October. I have budgeted myself $200 for the whole month. Let's say I only spend $180. That extra $20 would go towards my cash envelopes. Another thing that I'm doing differently in using this ledger book is actually writing down every transaction in this book. You never know when there's going to be a glitch with an app you're using to track your spending, or if maybe there's going to be something wrong with the website where you track all your banking information. Lately, I've just been having a lot of those issues with spending tracker apps or even my own bank account information just not being completely accurate. So, over to the right on that opposite page, after I do my budget, I will use those pages to actually track each expense, and I will put whether I use my bank card, cash, credit card, whatever the case may be, so that I know for sure exactly where every dollar is going. That way, if there's anything on my bank account statement or anything like that that doesn't quite seem right, I can go back to this book and go, okay, wait a minute. I wrote on this date that I spent this amount of money. Why isn't that showing up on this report or this monthly statement or whatever the case may be? Also, I find that writing down every transaction is good for two things. For one thing, it kind of keeps me accountable to my own budgeting goals. And second of all, it also helps me kind of see where I'm at um, in real time. I will basically go in this book at the end of every day and write down exactly what I spent money on. So every day I'm seeing how much I've actually spent in each category, which kind of, even though I might not write down how much I have left in my budget for that particular category, it's a good way of seeing how quickly I'm spending in that category. So when I'm going in there and I'm jotting those down those transactions, I can kind of go, okay, I've already spent this amount in this category and I only have this amount budgeted. I really need to stop spending in this category, or I need to kind of cut back somewhere else. Um, so that way, even if I go over my budget on this particular category, I'm not blowing my entire budget, if that makes sense. So that is a basic overview of how I'm using this ledger book and how I am setting up my budget and also using pages in here to track my spending. August and September were really crazy months for me financially, really in a lot of ways, but especially financially. So I did not actually do budgets for those months. Um, but going forward, I will be doing budgeting and budget review videos, probably starting in November. I know a lot of people like to use budgeting pages or budgeting planners that have this really pretty design and, all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love cute designs when it comes to a full planner or planning my regular stuff. But when it comes to my actual budget, all I care about is getting down to business. What are my expenses? What can I budget for each category? And do I have space to write if I go over or under budget? And this ledger book just provides all of that for me. Um, One thing I really do like is I do like the yellow color of it on the front. I know that that's a color I wouldn't normally like, but for some reason it really works for this book. But I also like the size of this book. It's the amount of space that I have to write down all the stuff is plenty of room for me to be able to do a monthly budget on one page without feeling like I would have to combine categories I don't want to combine just to keep everything on the same page. So I really like that. So anyways, that is all that I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you would love to share any information you have about a ledger book or a budgeting book that you use, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys are using. I think it's really important when it comes to your finances to come up with a system that works for you. So I really do recommend this book, but there's plenty of other ledger books that you could use for this type of budgeting. So that is all I have for now. I know this was kind of a very simple overview. I will be posting actual budgeting videos in the next few weeks. Thanks for watching!